Welcome to the Black Sparrow Media Internet Broadcast Network.
You are listening to Linux in the Ham Shack. LHS is a podcast about Linux, open source, and amateur radio for everyone. Now here are your hosts, Russ, K5TUX, Cheryl, W5MOO, and Bill, NE4RD.
Well, hello everybody and welcome. You have tuned in to episode number 532 of Linux in the Ham Shack, the most terrific amateur radio podcast on the internet. We welcome you into our short topics episode this time around. We appreciate you being here. And before we get into our short topics for the evening, we'll go ahead and introduce ourselves. For the on assignment, once again, Cheryl, W5MOO. I'm Russ, K5TUX.
And I'm Bill, NE4RD.
All right, so I guess there's no preamble to the show tonight. You know, weather's been pretty good. Although I guess there is going to be a little preamble because I saw on our weather report here that it looks like Billings is going to have almost a week straight of snow.
Yeah, that's what they say. I'm hoping because I'm getting my skis ready.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to get up there on Red Lodge and do some schussing. So.
Yeah, hoping they open the back. That's all I'm hoping for.
Well, very good. Well, while we're waiting to go skiing, or while Bill's waiting to go skiing, rather, I think it might be a little too warm down this way for that, since it's going to be in the 60s all week. Let's go ahead and talk about some amateur radio topics. And the first one you've probably already heard about, because this apparently has been a very, very slow news week. I had a lot of trouble digging stuff up. So, but we have, so basically what I'm saying is all the stories we have are all the stories everybody has. So if you haven't heard this one already, yay. I did flash up the title a little bit on this one. AO92 likely meets fiery demise in Earth's atmosphere. Fox 1 Delta, or otherwise known as Alpha Oscar 92, was, keyword, oh boy, of course. Fox 1 Delta, Alpha Oscar 92, was, keyword, an AMSAT CubeSat satellite that operated for just over 6 years in orbit and proved to be a popular option for amateur radio satellite operators through its FM transponder. In addition to the transponder, the versatile satellite contains several payloads, including an L-band converter, an experimental camera, and a MEMS gyro experiment. With aging batteries, the satellite could no longer operate reliably and was mostly inoperable in recent months. The satellite re-entered Earth's orbit on February 3rd. So just a couple days ago, it went boom. Read more about distance records set with AO92 and view a gallery of images captured from the onboard camera in the original AMSAT story, which gives you a clue where the story came from, AMSAT. So, sad to say it, but you don't have to download the TLEs for AO92 anymore because it no worky. So,
it go crashy, burn.
It no existy. Yeah. So very good. We talk a lot about satellites going up. We rarely talk about satellites going down. So, but anyway, yeah, AO92, 6 years and it's gone. But of course, 7 more will replace it. So
let's launch them on up.
Oh yeah. Ted brings up a thing from Late Night with Seth Meyers. You burnt. I'm willing to bet AO92 is not going to make it into his segment, but who knows?
Yeah.
Anyway, so moving on, Bill, we got another story we can talk about.
Sure, yeah. This is the first amateur radio station on the moon. This is JS1YMG is now transmitting. The Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, or JAXA, successfully landed their smart lander for investigating moon, also known as SLIM, on January 19, 2024. Just before touchdown, SLIM released 2 small lunar surface probes, LEV-1 and LEV-2. LEV-2 collects data while moving on the lunar surface, and LEV-1 receives the data. The JAXA Ham Radio Club, the JRHC, or JARC, JQ1ZVI secured amateur radio license JS1YMG for LEV1. Boy, that's a lot of letters. Which has been transmitting Morse code on 437.41 megahertz since January 19th. The probe uses a 1-watt UHF antenna with circular polarization and is transmitting, quote, matters related to amateur business, unquote. Well, shouldn't be business if it's amateur. Anyway, radio amateurs have been busy analyzing JS1 at YMG's signal with Daniel Estevez, Echo Alpha 4, Golf Papa Zulu, busy analyzing the signal. Oh, sorry, I just read the same line. A blog introducing the method and extraction results for the demodulating Morse code from the signal, as well as extracting the code string. It is unclear how long the signals will be heard. JAXA has said that the SLIM was not designed to survive a lunar night, which lasts about 14 days, and is due to return in a few days. SLIM was launched on September 6, 2023, and landed on January 19, 2024, with the mission of analyzing the composition of the rocks to aid the research about the origin of the moon. SLIM's landing made Japan the 5th country to achieve a soft touchdown on the moon. The landing was achieved with exceptional precision within 180 feet of its targeted touchdown location. And this came to us from the ARL, or the ARRL.
Yeah, very good. Interesting story. And, of course, if you're a flat earther, a moon landing denier, or a conspiracy theorist, that was fake news.
Yeah, that totally fake news. Yeah. and if you think you're going to receive this with your Yagi, probably not. You need a lot of gain to make up for all of the signal loss between here and there.
Yes. And it says circularly polarized. So you're probably still not going to get it on your little arrow, whatever.
Not a chance.
Yeah, you might have to be a little closer to the moon.
Yeah, maybe like you had like 10 arrows, antennas all bound together or something like that.
Or one arrow and a whole lot of cush. All right. Anyway, it's kind of a strange night. Is it a full moon? I don't think it is. So we do have another amateur radio story called The Magic Band Revealed. Have you ever wondered about the magic of 6 meters? It doesn't. We've talked about 6 meters on this show.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much on 6 meters. Your existing HF plus 6 meter rig and a simple antenna, even a dipole, will work. And I can confirm that, yes, even a simple, stupid MFJ hamstick dipole up 20 feet will get you 6 meter contacts. In this book, I guess we're talking about a book now, you'll find out how and the I in this I is Jim Wilson, K5ND, know that dipoles work and how to build one of your own. This book will also provide plenty of insight into how you can find DX on 6 meters. It covers propagation equipment, software, antennas, operating software, on-the-air operation, awards, contesting, and VHF rover operations. I don't know, kind of like a certain podcast did a few episodes ago. It further provides detailed instructions on using the WSJTX FT8, FT4, MSK 144, and Q65 modes with appendices. I think I just portmanteaued appendix and dependency there, but with appendices on SDR operation and ESNEC, easy NEC, antenna modeling, it truly includes everything you need to know about 6 meter amateur radio DXing. About the author, quote, Jim Wilson K5ND writes this blog, K5ND Ham Radio Adventures, and has contributed to QST Magazine, the ARRL National Contest Journal, and CQ Magazine. He's a frequent speaker at conferences and amateur radio club meetings, unquote. I actually put the quotes in there just to separate that. The paperback version is available on Amazon at the lowest price possible with no royalties to the author. I don't know why they wanted to specify that. I mean, surely he wants some money. The paperback version is, see, I jumped back up like you did. Yeah. It is full color throughout. Every illustration is easily understood. It is also available in PDF format at the download link. The PDF version includes an expanded detailed table of contents and figures and a figures list not included in the print version. And, of course, links to those will be in the show notes as well as the original
PDF
story.
Is free.
What's that?
The PDF is free. It's free to download. So that's why I wanted to include it in here as well.
Oh, excellent. Yes. But it's also the Amazon is not making any money for the author. which seems pointless if you're publishing a book, but whatever. That came from K5ND's own blog, right from the horse's mouth. And, of course, we'll have links so that you can get the PDF, and or if you want to pay the no royalties for the paperback download, you can get that as well. Or not download, paperback, I guess it's a download. The snail mail downloaded to your mailbox at the street.
Yeah. It's one way to put it.
The really slow way, the 0.0001 baud download.
Yes.
All right. Anyway, so that's it for our dug up stories on the amateur radio side. I guess we can move on to open source. I guess that's your cue.
Oh, that's my cue. I was waiting in case you want to kick your dog or something like that.
No, I don't want to kick my dogs. I love my dogs, but I do wish they would shut up around this time of the night.
Yeah. Alrighty, the first story on the open source is Ubuntu 24.04, which is real soon, to use kernel version 6.8. The Ubuntu 24.04 LTS is set to use the upcoming Linux kernel version 6.8, deviating from the expected Linux 6.6 LTS release. Although Linux 6.8 is currently in active development, it is anticipated to be stable by March, allowing Ubuntu developers ample time for refinement before the LTS release in April. Daily builds of the Ubuntu 24.04 are currently using Linux 6.7, but adventurous testers can opt for an experimental Linux kernel 6.8 build via Canonical's unstable kernel PPA. The decision to include Linux 6.8 and Ubuntu 24.04 is praised for its alignment with a desire to have the latest kernel in each release, especially crucial for an LTS version that will be used for an extended period. Linux 6.8 promises support for stable Intel Meteor Lake graphics, the ability to toggle IA32 emulation at boot time, Intel Shadow Stack support, and more. Ubuntu developers plan to enhance the kernel with their tweaks, such as an updated app armor, stacking LSM patch set and using the latest GCC with frame pointers enabled by default, aiming for an improved performance engineering and developer experience. Additionally, there is a potential to move towards default low latency features in Ubuntu 24.04, making it more suitable out of the box for activities like music creation, video editing, gaming, and other high responsive workloads. And this comes from OMG Ubuntu. And yes, high responsive workloads. That's what you need the updated kernels for. So those of you still running the LTS version for your gaming rigs, change that.
And that did get funneled through ChatGPT, and I actually feel like it did kind of a good job with that. So
yeah, not too bad. Too bad I couldn't read it that well.
I guess we could just start having ChatGPT read them too, right? I mean,
yeah, I just plug your. There's one of those AIs that you can just plug a little bit sample of your voice in, and it'll read everything for you.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll just state right here up front, we're not doing that. If all of a sudden you hear the text coming out of this podcast like flawless, we're on vacation. Yeah.
Get all some of that good podcasting money, right? Retired early.
Definitely getting fat, dumb, and happy on that. So, so this next, I'm kind of curious about how this next story showed up in here.
It's magic.
Were you reading my mind?
Oh, I don't know. I happened to run across this. Well, you should go ahead and read it, then I'll talk about it.
Okay. Well, because I installed this today.
Oh, wow. That's kind of funny.
But anyway, yeah, the story is about Crafty Controller. Crafty Controller is a free and open source Minecraft launcher and manager that allows users to start and administer Minecraft servers from a user-friendly interface. The interface is run as a self-hosted web server that is accessible to devices on the local network by default and can be port forwarded to provide external access outside of your local network. Crafty is designed to be as easy to install and use. Is designed to be easy to install and use, not as. There's no metaphor here. Requiring only a bit of technical knowledge and a desire to learn to get started. Crafty Controller is still actively being developed by Arcadia Technology, and we're continually making major improvements to the software. Crafty Controller is a feature-rich panel that allows you to create and run servers, manage players, run commands, change server settings, view and edit server files, and make backups. With the help of Crafty Controller, managing a large number of Minecraft servers on separate versions is easy and intuitive to do, and it's licensed under the GPL v3, so it's open source and copyleft. Excellent. So what did you have to say about this before I say anything about it?
Yeah, I was just, I just happened to be, I was trying to set up a server here at the house for Vault Hunters. And I was like, oh, I want to see if there's like an easy way to do it. And I was just kind of surfing through YouTube videos, just kind of on the topic. And then I ran across a video that talked about this. And then I was like, oh, I haven't seen this before. So yeah, that kind of sparked it, a YouTube video sparked my interest in finding this. And then when I found it, of course, I'm like, well, we should include it in the show just because it's open source and it's Minecraft. So it kind of checks off a few boxes of what we do around here.
So did you actually get it installed and use it?
No, not yet. Not yet. I just found it just like yesterday. So,
well, I literally found it this morning. I was in a Reddit thread because I was restarting the Minecraft server, and I was doing a Google search for like ways to auto restart the Minecraft server so I could have that kind of functionality.
Yeah,
and sure enough, Crafty Controller came up.
Nice.
So I did the thing. I downloaded it, installed the Python, got it built, started it up. And it has the ability to import existing instances of Minecraft,
cool,
as well as create them. Plus, you can have, you can create users and roles and assign people to do certain things and manage certain things and create database or create worlds if you want them to, and so on and so forth. And so I was like, ooh, this is really cool. I'm totally on board. So the first thing I did was try and import our server, which is about 40 gigs. And when you do an import, the first thing it does is wants to copy it. So I got rid of it immediately. If you're starting from square one, I'm sure Crafty Controller works great. I mean, it does work great. The interface is nice. It's really usable. It's written in Python. It does everything well. It even has you set up separate Python build environment and everything to run it into, so it's sandboxed and it's SSL encrypted and all that stuff. And like I said, if you're starting without a server, or if you have a really small server to import, this is probably good. If you have a large existing server, expect some pain. But yeah.
Well, we're gonna need a new one anyway, because like when 121 comes out, we're not gonna be able to even do like whatever the stupid things are, the vault rooms or whatever, because they'll be so far out from the map when they regenerate everything that we haven't touched that it's just gonna become unplayable. So I think it might be time for a fresh start when 121's released.
Oh, you actually want a whole new world?
Yeah, I mean, you can keep the other world running, but we should spin up a new world and just be new.
Well, okay. I mean, maybe I'll start up Crafty Controller, to at least start that way and have the ability to do the functionality it has without having to do the massive file copy.
Look at Darren. No, don't. We'll keep the world up. Jeez, we just might switch. I know. It's hard to upgrade when you have major things happening. I mean, we could go through and have everybody visit all their areas that they want to save and then run a prune on the server and then basically prune all the chunks that basically we've only flown into or gone into once or twice and haven't actually built anything in. It's not 100% how that works, but like we could do that and that would reduce the world download size probably, to about 4 gig. So, or probably even smaller, because we actually don't have a lot of stuff. You think you do, but we really don't have a lot of stuff. We can see the whole map. So, but there's a lot of chunks. Now, if you're building stuff in all these different places and stuff like that, that might be a problem. But yeah. I don't know. We could probably go into that at some other time, not the short topic show, but I don't know. I'm just brainstorming. So
yeah, I'm not sure we're ready for the pain of the whole thing. I am definitely looking forward to 121 though. Auto crafters. Everyone wants the auto crafters.
Yeah, for the win.
All right. So with that, let's move on to the next topic.
Oh, and it's my turn again.
Yeah, it's your turn.
I talked so much, I didn't know who read the last one. Anyway, yeah, this is SparkyLinux harbors a flamboyant array of desktops. It's flamboyant. What What a title. SparkyLinux is a lightweight distro based on Debian, but it offers some choices that a few, if any others, do. This year's first new version of SparkyLinux has 2 development streams, a rolling release version 8 based on Debian Trixie, release 24.01, of which just landed. There's also a stable release version, SparkyLinux 7, which is based on Debian 12 Bookworm, and version 7.2 came out last month. There are some conventional offerings, LXQt, Mate, XFCE, and KDE. Then there are 2 minimal editions, the OpenBox-based Minimal GUI, a 1.5 gigabit download, which installs into a 3.5 gigabit of disk, and a Minimal CLI, which is half that size. Both of these have i686 editions for the geriatric hardware, and both ARM64 and ARM-HF variants for old and new Raspberry Pis. Then there are 3 special editions. Game Over has more than 100 pre-installed FOSS games, plus Steam, Wine, Play on Linux, TeamSpeak, and more. The Multimedia Edition has a large assortment of graphics, audio, video, and web editing tools. The Rescue Edition can't be installed, but comes with lots of data and file recovery tools, backup apps, anti-malware programs, and so on, with exceptionally rich file system support as standard, even including HPFS. If that wasn't enough, just last month, Sparky added MLVWM to its list. The Macintosh-like virtual window manager resembles classic macOS because Takashi Hasegawa's original version dates back to 1998, so it predates the existence of Mac OS X. More recently, developer Morgan Eldridge got permission from Hasegawa to continue the work, and now MLVWM runs on 21st Century Linux. It's a little rudimentary, and there were some display glitches, but perhaps now that it's available in a modern distro, it will get a lick of paint on it. So there you go. And that came to us from the Register, and we have reviewed SparkyLinux in the past, because I see you wrote down a readiness score there for Game Edition. I haven't tried the Game Over Edition, though, so maybe we should do that at some point. I haven't. I did not take a chance to spin through it, though. Did you? Maybe you did.
Well, I was trying to, but for some reason, the VMware workstation player on my computer was booting it at an incredibly close to snail's pace. I see as I look across the room that it has now booted, but unfortunately, I did not have a chance to actually look at it. It has a lot of stuff that is interesting to me on it, and I was really hoping to be able to say something about it, but I really can't because while it is booted up over there, I don't really have anything to say about it. I will say, though, that it's based on Debian, so that alone probably gives it at least a 4, the LHS readiness score. So,
yeah, I believe the last time we did SparkyLinux, we did do the rolling release version, and it scored pretty high. It was like a 4.6, 4.7 all in. So.
Yeah, and the Game Over edition is only in the rolling version. There, if you look at the SparkyLinux website, between the stable version and the semi-rolling version, some editions are available in one and some editions are available in the other. They're not necessarily cross-compatible.
Yeah, the gaming one would make sense to be in the rolling release to get the newer kernel and stuff.
The newer kernels and all that good stuff. Yeah, absolutely. So that one's based on Trixie, which is Debian testing. I guess that's version 13 at this point. And I would have loved to have been able to say more about it than, it's Debian and it's probably going to work. But I wanted to see how some of their built-in emulators and, support for Wine and Steam and all that kind of stuff was. But, alas, that'll, I guess, have to wait till the next one. And I was going to also do a review of 4M Linux, which is another one that's sort of been in the news lately because there's a new release of it, version 45. And 4M Linux is one of those Linuxes kind of like...
Slackware?
Like what?
Slackware?
No. Slackware has its Slackware and Gentoo and, Crunch Bang and all those stuff. Those are all... like moderately usable. This one is one like, what's the one that I can't stand? It's like so different than all the other ones, but it begins with a P. Puppy Linux.
Oh, Puppy, yeah.
Yeah, like it has its own, package manager and all that kind of stuff. And it's just like you have to go through the process of learning how to use it. And I didn't want to bother with that, so I just I didn't want to give it a 0 because, if you wanted to go through the trouble of figuring out how it works, I did see that RPM was installed, but not Yum or DNF. So it's I guess kind of based on Red Hat / Fedora / SUSE, whatever. But none of the utilities for package management are there. So with that in mind, I gave it a 0.1 because you could probably make it work, but it would be way not worth your effort. So it's kind of like
for help, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like a distribution that they built to be as it is when you install it, and you don't really do much with it except keep it updated. So, maybe there's more to it than that. I don't know, but that's the way it seemed to me. I mean, it does have utilities installed, and I think it uses LXDE as the desktop, something like that.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So I mean, it's functional if you want to do the things it contains, but if you wanted to use it as a ham radio distribution, I think you'd be in for a world of hurt. So,
uphill battle, right?
Yeah, exactly. So just my thoughts there, brief as they are. But I was trying to get something in the Linux and the Ham Shack realm, and there just really wasn't anything out there, and I haven't been really playing with anything except my new FT 710. I was trying to use FL Digi, earlier, and the sound support in FL Digi is just still so bad. I don't know if my version's old or what. I got it to receive, but I couldn't get it to pick an outgoing sound device other than the default.
Oh, that's weird. We're using port audio?
Yeah, and it was not finding my output device.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because I wanted to kind of be a little cheaty maybe, and try work some Poda on CW using FL Digi.
Cheater.
Yeah, a little bit. I was gonna send myself. Well, I was. I can send just fine. His decoding is not my strength. So
I just realized I don't even have FL Digi installed on my machine. So there you go. I've done a CW contest on here. I do not have FL Digi installed. So I couldn't have cheated.
Well, you could have used something else.
Hush now. Jeez.
So I don't know what the current version of FL Digi is, but the installed version on my machine is 4.1.20. So
I can download 4.2.04.
Okay. I can't imagine it would make that big a difference, but I was disappointed that I was not seeing sound devices that I thought I should have seen. So
that's definitely sounds like something's not quite right.
Yeah, because WSJTX and JTDX and other applications like that work just fine. I haven't tried anything for like QSS TV or anything like that, which also use sound card interface. But
right.
I guess I'll do a little more investigation and see how it goes.
That thing has just Burr Brown or whatever drivers for the audio normally?
The IC7100 has that. That's basically the same audio driver that's in like SignalLinks.
Yeah.
But the FT710 does not. It has its own sound card device.
Oh, interesting.
So anyway, I will do more work with that. But at least there's a little bit of content in Linux in the Ham Shack, I guess. Unless you got something else you can throw in.
No, that's I added my part. 4.2.04.
All right.
And I'm installing it now from AUR package because I'm running Manjaro.
Well, there you go. Arch enemy.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Well, that actually brings us down to the end of our topics for the evening. We do have one announcement, and that is that the Linux in the Ham Shack Hamvention GoFundMe is actually live. I said it was going to be live on the 1st. I was wrong. It was live on the 2nd. Close enough. So the URL for that is lhs.fyi/HV 2024, Hotel Victor 2024. We're already in like a day and a half, 20% to the goal. So,
wow, awesome.
Yeah. So this campaign may be really, really short, and we would love to make it really, really short. So if you can donate, we would really appreciate it. Any amount helps, even $1 or $2. We're only looking for $500 this time. And like I said, if this works out the way I hope it will, then this will be the last time we have to do one of these, and then our listeners will be helping to self-sustain us and allow us to attend Hamvention each year going forward without having to do these with these fundraisers. So that would be nice. But in the meantime, if you can donate, please do that. And whether you can or not, please share that link everywhere you can think to share it. The more people who know about it, the faster the donations come in, and the shorter the GoFundMe campaign will be, and the quicker I can pay for the booth. So there you go. We really appreciate it, and we really appreciate everybody who supports the show anyway, and all our listeners and all that good stuff. So thanks in advance. We hope to see everybody in Xenia in May. And with that, we'll get down to our very, very short list of subscriber supporters and live participants for this week. So apparently we're short on news and social media. So we had nobody in the first 4 categories. In Mastodon, we have Ken Harrington and KG4SDR. On YouTube, we have user-KL7VM6ZY4K. Sounds made up to me.
Totally legit.
Yeah, absolutely legit. On Discord, we had Calf. And in the live chat tonight, we had quite a lot here. Ooh, that's a call sign I don't recognize. Ryan, M0PUN. Very nice. We all love the puns, right? Tom, N4, hi! Jill, K1TTZ. Ted, WA0EIR. Steve, K7HPT. Winston, KD2WLL. Tony, K4XSS. Darren, VK60K. And Joel, KC0YEW. So thanks, everybody, for tuning into the show. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of the program, for helping us out, for participating in Linux in the Ham Shack in any way that you do that. Really appreciate it. We hope you have a great week, and we hope you'll tune in for episode 533 when that one comes around. But in the meantime, have a great week, have a great night, have a great day. Just be good to everybody, and we'll catch you on the next one. For the On Assignment Cheryl, W5MOO, I'm Russ, K5TUX.
And I'm Bill, NE4RD73.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Linux in the Ham Shack. LHS is a community-sponsored podcast. Our website is located at lhspodcast.info. You can support the podcast by visiting the LHS Patreon page at patreon.com/LHS Podcast, or by using the contribute list on the homepage. We have a presence on Discord, Facebook, IRC, Twitter, and YouTube. You can also drop us an email at info@lhspodcast.info, or leave us a voicemail at 1-909-LHS-SHOW. That's 1-909-547-7469. Visit the online LHS merchandise store at shop.lhspodcast.info for fun and fashionable show-themed merchandise. Until next time, remember to always heed your hedonism.